McVay brothers for joining me and Conor Ryan. And I'm Tim Quinn, a substitute teacher at Alder High School. But thanks for joining on this podcast. And John and Tim and Jim McVay all graduated in the 1970s. They're part of a famous family of brothers who are etched in the archives of Alder football history. Let's say the glory days of their youth. So again, thanks for taking the time and interest, John and Jim and Tim. It's special for me that you're all joining this. And from deep in my heart, I say thank you. And
thank
today
you for
the agenda is going to be,
Tim.
Well, you're very welcome. We had a lot to share growing up, and I'll tell some wonderful stories later. But the agenda, guys, is just going to be, it's real simple. We're going to have some fun and enjoy our time together. This podcast will be seen by the Alder Nation on their website and their podcast.
On YouTube. We have
YouTube
channel and a Spotify.
Yeah,
and Spotify.
So as we get started, the five of us, Conor, me, and the three brothers, we share a really unique bond, just being Alder graduates, being part of the Alder football history. Conor was an outstanding lineman during his time at Alder. And we're going to start with each one of you telling us, where you are, what's going on in your life, your memories at Alder. And before I do that, I'm not going to hog the screen. I'm going to have Conor say a couple words.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no. Do you want me to start?
Well, sure.
Okay. Yeah, so I graduated from, just to kind of get things started on my end, just so you guys kind of have an idea of who I am. I graduated from Alder in 2016. I played college football for a year on scholarship at Ashland University. I had a back injury, pretty significant back injury, kind of ended me playing football. I ended up transferring to Bowling Green, BGSU, and got my degree in media and communications there. And I now work at Alder as the director of communications, and I am the defensive line coach on the football team, and I'm also the JV defensive coordinator. And so keeps me pretty busy doing this and coaching football here. So,
and Conor, I gotta brag on him, guys, a second. So last Friday night, Alder defeated Cincinnati McNicholas, and his defense held McNicholas to no points. The game was 12-0, and Alder won their sixth victory of the year. So he's doing a great job.
Coach of the year.
So what? Yes, it's football is humming along this year at Alder. So, okay, John, can we ask you just if you tell us a little bit for the audience about yourself? You're in the great state of Tennessee and some memories of Alder football.
Great state of Tennessee. Hello from beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee, sometimes referred to as the Scenic City. And no points scored against is perfect. Doesn't get any better. Graduated from Alder in 1971 and had a great time at Alder. Always tip of the hat and much gratefulness to my mom and dad that made it possible for myself and Jim and Tim to attend Alder back in the day. And had some great memories there. So, and primarily those are not just the games and the success we had, but also the great relationships developed over the years with friends that are friends throughout a lifetime. And I can name the names, and you'll hear a lot of familiar names with the Victor Smith and the Joe Shoestroms and the Paul Byerleys, and of course Tim Quinn was a guy we all looked up to as young guys. So. Tim set a standard where I said, those are some pretty big shoes to fill, but we'll give it a go. So the time at Alder was wonderful. And of course, playing with brother Jim was great. He was the quarterback. He was the leader. He could make things happen. It was often said that by the press that Jim and I were on the same page. And I said, they were right. We were on the same page because Jim and I had been throwing a football back and forth for a lot of years before we got to Alder back in the day. So we were on the same page, and we were able to make some exciting things happen. But again, the key tribute in my experience with Alder is just the great relationships made and the wonderful coaches and teachers and gentlemen that were there at the time, starting with Bill Rankin as the head coach and certainly Jack Ward, and then so many guys that came through my dad's program at the University of Dayton, Jim Places, Bobby Maddens, and got to jump in because I'm going to forget a few somehow along the way. But and of course Tim Quinn. But those experiences were wonderful for me, and I'm grateful for them every day.
Great. Thank you, John. That's tremendous. And Jim, you're up next, my friend.
Okay, a lot of the things that John mentioned applied to me also, and that it was quite an experience to grow up in Kettering, Ohio, and go to Alter, which was really special. And John mentioned it. It wasn't just the great athletes and players; it was the students, it was the band, it was everybody that really enjoyed the culture, the Alter High School culture of being special. And they're smart, hardworking, high character people. I refer back to the Alter High School experience often, over and over the years. And it was really special. And in the football program with Bill Rankin and Jack Ward, and we had Billy Matthews and Jim Seawees, the brothers all. So
right.
we've had a lot of good people around us along the way, and getting to do some neat things with Tim Quinn. That was special. Tim was the king of Ohio when he was in high school and in college. So that experience. So we grew up in a really fun, enjoyable environment. We thank our parents for making sure we had that opportunity to go to Alter High School. Graduated in '72, went to the University of Dayton. Had a wonderful time at the University of Dayton. I am now in Tampa, Florida, and I am in my 39th year as the president and CEO of the ReliaQuest Bowl. It's a bowl game we historically played on New Year's Day. They're moving some spots around for the college football playoffs. The Big Ten and SEC are in our game every year. Last year, we had a tremendous matchup with Michigan and Alabama were in our game. It was terrific. The ratings were huge. But my wife and I moved down to Florida about 42 or 3 years ago. And it has a lot of the Midwestern culture here because everybody in the Midwest would jump on I-75 and would go down the west coast of Florida. Everybody from the Northeast go down I-95 and go to the east coast of Florida. So a lot of people from Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, on the West Coast. So we do run into a lot of people from the Midwest. But so enjoying a wonderful time in the Tampa Bay area, the sunshine, the beaches, a lot of neat things to do. And we're happy to be here and happy to be participating today. And thank you for the invitation.
Jimmy, that was great. Thank you too. And you've done a marvelous job down there in Tampa with the bowl game. And I don't know if you remember this, you probably don't, but many years ago, we saw each other in New York City at the 21 Club. Dee and I were there, my wife and I were there for a National Football Foundation College Hall of Fame function. And you were there having dinner at the same time we were, and you were talking with, or having dinner with Coach Pat Dye from Auburn, I think. I remember these things because whenever I see one of the McVay boys, I remember that occasion.
When I joined this bowl game, when I was hired, it was the Hall of Fame Bowl associated with the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame.
Right.
So every year we'd go to New York and Manhattan. Everybody would put the tuxes on, and everybody who's anybody in the world of college football was there in New York at the 21 Club. And it really was quite an experience. That's a group that supports college football. And it was special, with the tuxes. And I remember seeing you. Tim Quinn was the biggest star I could find there. I tell you what, he was very well known and much beloved. So we got a chance while we were with the name College Football Hall of Fame, that transitioned over to the Outback Steakhouse. And now it's the ReliaQuest Bowl, which is a cybersecurity company. But how could I
Right. Well,
forget
that's
seeing
just
you
cool.
at the 21 Club, Tim?
21 Club. That was special. And thank you, Jim. And Tim, I'll tell you what, I remember when you were just a little kid, you know, I think growing up on Malone, what street did you guys live on?
952
Avenue.
Malone Avenue.
Malone Avenue, right.
Yeah.
I have my gym class jog past your old home every day, and they salute your home. I'm kidding. I don't know.
That's awesome.
So Tim, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, thanks, Tim. And I echo all the sentiments and things from my two brothers right there. That what made it even better than it was, which it was fantastic, the altar experience, was being one block in front of the school. And so here we are with three guys in Alder all together at one time. John was a senior, Jim was a junior, and I was a freshman. And so we were the location where any connection and teammates or friends would show up from each one of our acquaintances. And you talk about balls flying around on Malone Avenue, like John said, hey, we've been throwing balls a long way. We threw balls out in that street all day long and had a ball, and we couldn't have had more fun. And I just got to tell you this. For me, I just look at the three guys that are sitting here, and Connor, you're going to be the fourth. Congratulations on a shutout. Great job, man. But Tim Quinn, you know, to me, and I know my brothers, I mean,
Thank you.
he was, you talk about a guy that modeled the way and brought people with him and elevated him and gave you a reason to think, boy, I need to be better and work harder and get to class and all the things that you need to do. Tim was the epitome of a person that you wanted to be like. So, Tim, it's so great to see you and that you're doing so well.
Thank
And
you, Tim.
God bless you indeed. And my brothers, all I ever wanted to do, you know, I just wanted to be like them. So I just, well, you know, I really, they were so good. We had, but we also had a lot of fun ribbing each other, but we were always so supportive of each other. And I was the beneficiary, being the youngest guy. You know, I was able to come along. People thought I was better than I was in high school because they said, this is about your seventh or eighth year at Alder, isn't it? And I said, yeah, I'm on I redshirted a couple of years. I came in on the transport portal.
Right.
For an
But
NIL
anyway,
deal.
I just, you know what, my brothers were great. They're my closest friends, and you know, they were damn good players, man. They were great players, even better men. And, you know, I just had a phenomenal experience. And then, Tim, you mentioned that the 60-year anniversary was so wonderful. Jim had a tough thing. He couldn't be, but he wanted to be there. But John and I were able to go. And how about my best pal growing up and playing football together? And I had to get my IU shirt out just to, you know, for the number 3 Hoosiers chasing the number 1 Bucks. Bucks are really good. But anyway, Ernie, how about the job he did with that 60-year anniversary book? I mean, that was
It was
phenomenal.
incredible. Yes.
And Ernie,
Incredible.
and I pulled it out in honor of Ernie also, just because Ernie and I were able to go to the Indiana University and played football together there. And so we, you know, we're tinging each other during the games and all excited and stuff. But a big, huge tip of the hat to Ernie for what he did. I mean, when you actually start looking at that book, I mean, what a fantastic history novel. You should take it into your U.S. history class, Tim.
I'm going, and there's no better history than altar football.
That's exactly right. Not to us, it isn't. But anyway, so I started. I went and played football at IU and get to play with Ernie. and got a job. After all of a sudden you run out of talent, you got to go get a job. So I was thinking, what am I going to do? And I go like, I don't really know how to do anything. So I better go get a job. So I did the best thing possible. I went and moved in with Jim and his wife, Lori, while I was looking for a job in Dayton where there was at least some companies where you could try to get a career started. And I ended up, they were so kind. And I was there, and I ended up getting a job at WHIO TV, Cox Enterprises. The Governor Cox started the company in Dayton. It's been headquartered in Atlanta for a long time. So I got in the TV side, selling advertising with Donnie May. Remember Donnie at UD? How could you forget Don May?
Yes,
But anyway,
absolutely.
so started a career there and they moved us around 5 different times, and got a chance to run a couple of TV stations, one out in the Bay Area and one in Atlanta, for the Cox family, and spent 39 years with Cox, and it was a fantastic experience with the people. And we're living down in Atlanta right now, and then I retired a handful of years ago, and I'm the nobody because I got a call last year from one of the coaches at Indiana that says, could you do a little pep talk for Indiana? We're playing Wisconsin at home, and the last time we beat them at home was when you ran a 2-point conversion in to win the game 15-14, because I played safety there and I also held for extra points and field goals. He says, yeah, don't make it such a big deal. He says, no one's going to remember you. He said, but everybody knows who Sean is. I said,
Great.
okay, I'll do it. So anyway, so we
Isn't
retired.
that when Corso said, hey, Tim, help Singer up, go for 2?
Oh yeah, no. Speaking of a good coach, Corso, he says, so you know how the coaches do it before when they score, they either want everybody to know we're going for 1 or going for 2. So Coach Corso's got his hand up, and then he goes, Mac, go for 2. Go for 2, as he's got the finger up. And I said, okay. I said, but I gotta at least, you can't be sitting here talking to him because guys will pick up some. I said, he said, but don't tell anybody. I said, Coach, I got to get the tight end to release. So anyway, it worked out, and it was a lot of fun. So back
Great.
back to the football stuff. And Sean, he was blessed and fortunate to be the youngest coach in the NFL. And so his wonderful mother, Cindy, who says hello to you indeed, Tim. She's
Thank you. Tell her hello also.
a big hello. That so we get a chance. We got 2 wonderful boys, Sean and Ryan and his wife Tori, and Remington, our 4-year-old grandson. They're back in Atlanta, and Ryan's working hard there, and we get to see them, which is great. And then we also go out to a lot of the games with Sean and his wife Veronica, and he's got a little boy that'll turn 2 at the end of October here, named Jordan, and then they're expecting their second little boy in December. So we spend a lot of time. It's wonderful time to be able to spend time with the kids and the grandkids, and so that's what we're doing.
That's great, Tim. That's wonderful. Great stories. And the 3 of you, I'm just tickled to see 3 of you again. And Tim, I got to tell one story about you when you were at Indiana, when you were at IU playing for them. So I'm a 4th-year senior medical student at Ohio State.
I remember. I was going to bring this story up.
Yeah, and so I was on a sports medicine elective during the fall of 1975, Archie Griffin's senior year in that great team. Yeah. And I was assigned to help out on the Indiana sidelines. And Timmy, you and I got to brag a little bit about you. You were covering punts for Indiana, and a guy named Tim Fox, all Big Ten safety and punt returner, was at Ohio State playing, and he returned a punt in the Indiana game, and you hit him so hard. I don't know if you ever got up. But and then on the sideline, Tim, I come over to you and say, Tim, how you doing? Great hit. And you're like, what in the hell are you doing here?
I said, hey, we need you. Go get a helmet. You know, hey, they were number one in the country then, and we actually played them really tough. We lost, I think, 24-14 when they were number
That's
one, and
right.
we were tied going into the fourth quarter, but they gave a good 90-some yard mash down our throat to win the game. But
Well,
we
Fox,
tried hard.
hey, you guys played a great game, and Tim Fox will never forget that hit, Timmy, that you gave on that punt.
I probably
Oh.
thought I was still at Alder after that.
Well, this is great, all three of you being here. And do you guys get to see each other often?
We tried. Here's the big here. I'll jump on this and let Jim and John talk, and I'll shut up. But thanks to brother Jim and his unbelievable success for his career in what he's done for the bowl in Tampa and for the community of Tampa, and John and his family and me and my family and my daddy, who you know well, Tim, or knew well. And Jim would always have the game in January, and then they would have a big, wonderful summer splash thing for all their supporters and the coaches and teams and conferences to get together to keep it alive and well. And thanks to the people, so we never missed the games or the summer splash every year, and everybody would make a big joke out of it when we'd get there, and they'd go like, "Oh, we're just glad to be here at the McVay, convention reunion here."
The
So
family reunion.
Thanks to Jim, we've been able to watch all of our kids grow up from, I mean, pee-wees to where they are now. And Sean started his sports career as a job being an intern for Jim at the bowl.
We were happy to have the family it was a beautiful resort in Tampa in the summer. Everybody would come down. We'd have, coaches from all around the league, and Dad would be here, and that would bring Wayne Fonts would come down, and Jimmy Gruden would be involved, and
Yeah.
it was unbelievable the type of people that we were around, and I think that was a big plus for Sean when John Gruden, who's a dear friend, he would be in Tampa. He coached for a while. He would come in and out when he was out of town coaching to see his daddy, and everybody would come to our summer splash. And John got to know Sean pretty well, I think, at those events and those outings and things like that. So that was a big plus. And Gruden is the guy that ended up taking Sean from Miami, and he was, kind of a young guy that was just going to be helping out with the offense or the defense or doing whatever So Gruden actually gave John his start in professional football. So those were good times, and it was great. We raised a lot of kids out there over the last 38 years, which was kind of fun. And the game itself was always neat because everybody from the McVay's game, they were down on the sideline. They're at the team hotels, at everything you can imagine. So we really have grown up in this football culture, and it's worked out pretty wonderfully for all of us, I think.
Amazing story.
Shirts.
Hey, John's got
Get
one of
free
my
shirts?
new shirts on. It's a ReliaQuest bowl.
I love it. I love it. That is
Hey,
what a
it's
great
important.
story.
It's important to have a good title sponsor when you run a bowl game. There's 4 key contracts. You got to have a TV deal, a title sponsor, and 2 good conferences. Then you have the foundation for running a bowl game. Big Ten, SEC, tough to beat that group. We had Indiana here a few years back, the COVID year, and those guys were getting swinging around. The quarterback, who's now a Falcon quarterback, couldn't play in that game because he was hurt. But we've had this is what we do with our bowl game is we help create an economic impact for the Tampa Bay area. We showcase our community nationally and internationally. Our game is seen internationally. We've paid the schools millions and millions of dollars, and every year we give $500,000 to to area nonprofits that are in need of help. That we do, it's not something we're mandated to do. It's something that we as an organization said, let's help these people. We give out grants for $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to help people. And that's one of the reasons why our bowl game is here and it is so well liked. So this has worked out for a lot of different ways, but it was really always great when the brothers came down with the families and could come to the game or summer, and Dad would be here with all of his old buddies that are coaching in the NFL and all. It really was unbelievable, the lineup of people that would come to our events. So
Jim, you got to tell the guys how.
the most important thing was the two brothers coming and the dad.
Jim, you got to tell the guys the story about when the one guy from the media asked you, "Do you know who's going to win the game?"
Well, yeah, and that's right. Did you recall that? He said, "Who's going to win?" I said, "We know the winner already. Every year we know the winner. It's the Tampa Bay community, the economic impact, the charitable organizations. We win every year. That's who wins.
That's called knocking it out of the park.
The community wins. So it's just good stuff. So it's fun. It's fun to be with organizations who think that's helpful to people.
Jim, what a great history and a great and meaningful summation of how you've been involved. And it's, thinking about, it's more than just the game, it's the community, it's what you're doing in Tampa. So that's, congratulations. That's tremendous. And thank you for sharing that.
There's a lot of people in every city that need help. And there's nothing more fun than after our bowl game, when people come to our office, we take a picture of them with the big prop check that says $10,000. People are there, they have tears in their eyes because they may have a 401(c) organization, 501(c)(3) that really can't generate the type of funds that are necessary. And if we give somebody $10,000 or $20,000 and that helps keep their nonprofit alive for a while, then we really like that. That's one of the best things we do every year.
And it means so much to them and to the community. So all three of you are very modest. So I'm going to tell our Altar Nation, you are both, or all three of you, were not just wonderful, great people. You were outstanding athletes, and each one of you contributed so much to your teams and to the Altar history, football history. And I'm going to share something with you. Conor and I did some homework, and there's an article that was just published in one of the Ohio newspapers that the sports journalists looked at the past 60 years of every high school in the state over the last 60 years, all different divisions, winning percentage. What are the winning percentage of, 300 high schools or whatever? Well, you can imagine the first was Moeller High School. Their winning percentage was like 84%. There were two teams from the Dayton area in the top 25. Altar High School was number 6 in the state of Ohio, last 60 years. And that's talking, Massillon, St. Xavier, all the teams. Number 6 overall over 60 years, winning percentage close to 80%.
Wow.
The only other high school team in the area at way down the list at number 24 was Centerville. No other team in the top 50. Fairmont, wow. Just you go down. So anyway, you're part of that. And I'm still amazed when I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, is this for real? Well, yes, it's for real. Well, we got Ed Domsites who's been coaching here for
34 years.
34, 40 years, whatever. Yeah. And he's got a pretty doggone good record. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was very interesting that your alma mater is number 6 on the all-time winning percentage in the state of Ohio for high school football. Isn't that remarkable? I think it's great.
That's tremendous. And I look back and, I get to play with John and his group and got to play with Tim and his group. I had John going and Tim was coming and all that. And you think about the kind of guys that were on the football team, and you think about the Coach Rankins and Jake, and you look back at it and say, we really were fortunate. We really got to have a lot of good people around it. Joe Schustroms and Greg Walther and Savinos and Krul and Ernstberger and John's guys. And, you know, you look back and it's, you know, it's only been what, 60 years or 50 years for us to look back, and these memories are still fresh. It's being with these kind of guys and practicing and winning big football games and having a good time and connecting with all those wonderful high character kids at Alter. It's different out there in the world. We've all had a chance to expose all kinds of different things, but there's something special about Alter, and we were glad to be a part of it.
And we
Absolutely.
are happy that you are a part of the McVay brothers. So I'm going to let Connor say a couple words, but first I've got to reminisce a little bit. Is that okay? Because I'm going to reminisce about how much I love the McVay family. Your mom, your dad, the three of you. And I was blessed as a teenager to be invited on some canoe trips and houseboat trips and camping trips with the McVay boys. And the Canarosies and Canaans and you guys and your dad, I was sort of adopted because my father, Joe Quinn, hated the outdoors. His idea of camping was a Holiday Inn. So I was with, I think I was like, it was after my freshman year at Alter that our first canoe trip took place. And of course, the three of you were in grade school. And I remember your dad, I think he started recruiting me at that time because
I think
he said I was,
recruiting
and I
you in
told
the
this
sixth grade.
I told this at the celebration of life of your dad when we had that a couple years ago. That your dad said I was the only kid he knew that could carry a canoe in one hand and two sandwiches in the other. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and I just I just love the three of you so much. Just our memory and history and growing up together, and the times guys around the campfires when we'd sit with the Canarosies and Canaans and your dad, and we feel like seen out of Blazing Saddles. Just the stories and all the flatuation.
That was Jerry Keenan.
That was Jerry Keenan, right?
Hey,
and
Romy.
now we did this multiple times. I remember Dad brought his little Derringer. He had a little gun that you had to break the knobs and then you put a point in, and we'd all stand around. And he's got this gun. We didn't know he had a gun, so he's got the gun, and we're all sitting around. And he says, "Look how I do this. You get the bullet here." He points at a tree and shoots it, and you can see the bullet going like this toward the tree. Thank God we're not trying to protect ourselves from anything. You could see the bullet moving across.
The bullets were so old they were covered with green algae or something. I mean, he never used the gun or shot the gun, so you could literally see the bullet come out of the barrel of this little Derringer.
How about the time we set up camp just on the other side of the dam, and they opened the dam in the middle of the night? Remember that trip?
Yeah.
We were screaming.
They scrambled up the banks so the water.
Everything
right, the water's coming up.
We lost everything.
Well, the Derringer guys, in case any grizzly bears were going to come after us, that would have protected us.
That would have done it.
The noise would have scared them off.
Oh,
that's right. And why I remember this, I'll just one more little goofy story, but Denny Moore beef stew. We had that every night and side of beans, and it tasted like it was out of cooking school. It was so good.
we look forward.
And I remember one night I was helping to cook that, and I gave all of you extra helpings.
oh, that's funny. I remember that. Oh my God, those were great.
This was fun stuff. This is terrific. Can we, Connor? Have we bored you enough yet?
No, I'm enjoying it. I like hearing the classic stories. That's kind of the whole idea here. It's been fun. I mean, he was telling me about it before we started a little bit, so it was fun to hear about it.
It was really an
unbelievable time.
Exceptional to grow up in that environment with all those great people. Yeah. It really was something. Very fortunate.
Yeah, it was great. I told Connor I'll just say a couple words, and I haven't let him talk for more than 30 seconds.
That's all good. No. Yeah, yeah, I think one thing that's cool about doing something like this, especially talking with the three of you, is like, altar football to me, is like it played a big impact in my life. That's why I'm coaching here now. It's really, and I think the 60th event was something that really was eye opening for me. Is like, wow, you really are a part of a long legacy of great players, great people, uh, a great network from every era of altar football. I mean, and it's pretty special. And I mean, it's like, I don't think you realize it when you're a current player. I definitely didn't think about it as much when I was playing football here at Alter, but I think after I graduated and got involved, and I'm like, okay, so like this is like you just hear in the history book too that we had talked about, going through that, you're just like, wow, it's like it feels really good to be a part of something that's so successful and so special and has so many great moments in history. And so just to sit here with you guys, the three of you today, is really cool for me. And I mean, that's why I have no problem sitting here and listening, because it's just cool to hear your guys' stories and the successes of your careers. And when I think of the McVays, yeah, that's football, and I love football. I mean, I live for it. So it's like when I hear the McVay name, I'm like, it's neat for me, for sure, to just sit here and hear what you guys have to say. So
Well, the one thing I'd like to say, Connor, thank you for that, but, certainly, Dad's accomplishments in football are well documented and known, but a point that Jim made some time ago, if there's a Mom Hall of Fame, Gloria McVay needs to be in it, because as a coach's wife with three young boys, 3 years apart, basically, she was hopping. So, I always want to give a shout out, as we all do, to Mom, because she was our biggest fan. Welcomed our friends, as Jim said. Our doors at our house at 952 Malone were open to all. So also want to give a shout out to Mom on that as well.
There were many weekend days where we would wake up and have to go downstairs to the basement and kind of maneuver around all the bodies all over the place to take an inventory of who was at our house now. Honest to God, it was one of those things, because Tim had his entourage, and Tim was a big leader. John had his entourage. I had mine. So you got three groupings that take over that. I remember when we were, you never knew who was going to be in the house, but the one time that Dad and Mom took us someplace, and we were pulled up, and there were like 3 or 4 cars out front of our house, and you could see guys going in and out of the windows of the upstairs houses that Dad and Mom didn't think was all that cool. It was just kind of an open house. Remember that?
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember that. Yeah, there was one body halfway in the house
Got
and
a big
halfway
fat
out the
ass
window.
sticker.
This is on the roof above the front door, so they knew the drill.
And if the parents were out
Thanks.
of town, we'd open the house up, but we had to have somebody at the front door checking IDs just so we made sure it was the right group. There'd be 50 people in our house. We had beer cans and bottles all stacked up all over the place. It was a fun time. We had a ball.
Jimmy, your mom and dad had a lot of patience and goodwill with putting up with all this.
Boy.
Hey,
That is
poor
great.
Mom. Three boys and all of our buddies.
Sainthood.
Your mom and dad, well, I love your family, but your mom and dad were the best, or are the best. Your mom, and I love playing college football for your dad. It was a wonderful experience at UD back when we were Division I. Jimmy beating Cincinnati and Louisville every game.
Yeah,
So,
big.
but it was wonderful. And I'm so happy. Please tell your mom I give her my best and a big hug, and she'll enjoy watching this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
speaking about Dad and his guys, his coaching staff, John McVay's coaching staff at Dayton, and you were part of all that stuff. How about Joey Golowski, Tom Moore, who just went into the NFL Hall of Fame, right? So you got
Right.
Tom, Wayne Fonts, George Perlis. These are all Hall
Lenny
of Fame
Fonts.
people that started
And
at
Lenny,
Dayton,
yeah.
Ohio. What's that, John?
And Lenny Font.
Lenny Fonts. I mean, he really knew you have a chance to be successful. You surround yourself with really successful, good people, right? And he had those guys, and they would show up. And
George Perlis.
They show up on a Friday. I remember that first year when they really got on to taking off, and all the coaches would show up, and they'd have a couple of Rolling Rock beers being cooled off in the garage. So these guys would get together. So they had a couple of beers the one night before the home game. Everybody and they won. So what do you think happened every Friday night with upcoming home games? The same 6 assistant coaches bringing in their Rolling Rock beer just to, hey, not that we're superstitious in the sports business, right, Tim? It's,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Those guys, I mean, it was the same group. I'm just Tom Moores, George Perlis. I mean, these are huge names in Fonts and these guys. I mean, that was pretty cool growing up around all that stuff.
Jim Gruden.
Amazing.
Hey, don't forget about Jim Gruden and the Gruden family
Jimmy
and John
Gruden.
Gruden. Jim, you're right, and all this stuff. The connection between UD and Alter was enormous with the coaches, the players. There's so many UD athletes, football, basketball. That's where we got all these giant tall guys from. Is all of a sudden the guys that stayed in town moved out into the suburbs, wanted their kids to go to a really good faith-based school that with other families that are high character and wonderful people, and get your kids in the right places. And our parents sacrifice that to do that. But man, big, huge connection there between UD and Alter football and Alter basketball. And, amazing, really. I mean, it's amazing
How
how
about the Paxson family? Just lived right down the street.
I just saw Jim Paxson a couple of weeks ago at Tim Pullman, a good buddy of mine that played basketball out from Delphus at UD. And he had Jack Zimmerman and Jim Paxson and Mike O'Rourke and all these guys from Alder that came to the wedding. And and my wife would even say it too. She says, she says, I got to admit that, she grew up in Evansville, Indiana, and was in California for a little while. But she said for a small school in Kettering, Ohio, it's amazing the amount of unbelievably high character, wonderful people from Alter High School. And it really is true. I mean, it's amazing how great the people are from there. A lot of it because of what they learned by going through Alder and being around the right people. Because whether people say, well, I don't want to, always got to be careful who you hang out with because you're going to rub off on each other. And it's a good thing we all went to Alder, and it's just been a spectacular place for our family. I know that.
And let's not forget Tim Quinn. While we were growing up, and there was that Tim Quinn and his other brother, and these are guys that really set the tone. And
he was the epitome.
Right.
He was the epitome of what you wanted to become.
Exactly. And he was
the
biggest, strongest,
most handsome,
and we just a good person that we all wanted to be like. And every time we get to see Tim Quinn, we get to shake his hand, and nobody was better, as a leader for all of us, and it's Tim. And thank you enough.
You're so kind. Well, thank you all for helping out here. Thank you. They used to say about me, I was strong as an ox and twice as smart.
That's good.
Hey, Tim, I got to do just one more thing. Brother John said this, which was so true, because when you looked at it, we could sit around here for 4 hours yakking and wearing you out. But, with Jim's history and keeping our families together and connected and things, but, talking about a football family, just all of our experiences through high school, because, that's how Dad made a living, coaching and stuff. And, but as Dad went on from then to the World Football League, a head coach at the Giants, head front office guy out at San Francisco. We would be gone to all of his success and games, and he was such a humble, spectacular. He's a the finest human being I've ever met. Just the way he handled himself and the way that he respected everybody and anybody. And you didn't need to be some big stud like Tim Quinn for him to, give you respect. And where after people would interact with him, they would share with me. He just made you feel better about yourself. And he was just a great guy. But he went and had John held up this thing. He's been to the finals a handful of years for the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, in the NFL. And he's we of course in our families, we got to grow up not only going through Jim's all of his work and down into with the bowl. We would go to all these Super Bowls and they'd win every one of them. We went to 5 Super Bowls and they won 5. And I said, geez, you make this look a little easier than it is. But he was just the humblest, greatest guy. And my mother was the best. And she sacrificed. And like John said, she took care of us and was chasing the guys around. Whenever the ants would show up on Malone Avenue, they better get out of there because she'd come out with a broom. Hey, it was all great. I gotta say one more thing. Let me just one more last thing I wanted to say was, for all of you guys, you have these lifelong relationships in this 4-year window where you have high school. Now here we are, around our 70s, talking about it like it was yesterday. And that I've got these lifelong friends like the Vic Smiths, like Jim Brown and Danny Graham and Doug Ditzel, Ernie, Coach Seawee, he's just a phenomenal guy. And just everybody. I could go on, but I just wanted to just say what a altar with the common goals and the common kind of character people. These are lifelong relationships, and I just thank God for all of that and for all of the human beings that we've been able to interact with. It's just been spectacular.
Well,
Timmy, that's a great summation. It is. Jim, you're going to say something?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Hey, I just want to thank you all so much. And I'll tell you what, as a parting thought, as I get older, the blessings that you have in the here and now are so special and wonderful. And I feel blessed, as does Connor, I feel blessed growing up with the McVay family. I loved your dad, loved your mom. I had a great 4 years playing at UD, and I just feel blessed for having you as friends and all the memories. And there's not a lot of people that have the great memories growing up experience that we had. And it's a blessing, guys. And as I get older, I enjoy blessings more and more.
Amen.
And thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
I appreciate you guys doing this. I think, like I said earlier, I think this is cool. This will be really cool for the altar community. I think anybody involved in altar football as well. So thanks for coming on, guys.
Happy to do it.
Great
Hey,
rest of the fall.
when Tim Quinn puts word out for the McVays to be someplace, we're here.
And
Hey,
Jimmy,
Hey, and Tim,
whenever
and
Connor wants us, whenever Connor says, let's do it, we'll get down.
that's right, because Tim also put together and was so critical in that unbelievable celebration of life for Dad a couple of years ago. That was phenomenal, Tim. The turnout, and thank you for that also.
oh, you're welcome. Well, again, I love your dad. Love the three of you. John's holding up. What is? Oh my gosh! Yeah, from the honoring your dad, that the program from that evening and dinner and weekend. I talked to Jimmy Place and Jim Seawee. It was exceeded our expectations. It was absolutely the best. It was just the best. And for all the right reasons. It was the best.
It was,
Thank-
it was so heartfelt. It was so special for us. I mean, the attendance was overwhelming. It was, I can't even express how we felt about it. It was wonderful.
It was special and meaningful, and I'm glad that you feel this way. I really am, and I'm gonna miss you guys. I'll come back to Dayton. I'll let you audit one of my classes at Alter.
Ooh.
That'd be good.
And hey, just what I need, another D on my report card.
Hey, John, I give out all A's to the football team.
Thank goodness that was started years ago.
That's right. The best, well-kept secret.
That's right. Well, thank you, John, Jim, and Tim. You guys are the best. You're great. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank you.
Connor.
Thanks, guys.
Connor, very much. Good luck the rest of the way, Connor.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You guys
Okay.
take care.
Take care,
Go
guys.
nice.
See you,
Go
Tim.
nice.
Go Knights.
Go.